everyone, welcome to the very first Halloween themed episode for 2017 here on SoCraftastic. It's part of the Fall into Crafts series. In today's video, I'm going to show you two really cool pumpkin designs. One is cute and fun, and the other one is a little bit creepy. So something for everyone, and absolutely no carving is involved. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome, and I hope that you'll want to join the family. All you have to do is click the red subscribe button below, and then you'll never miss a new video from me. I upload a new one every single Friday and Sunday. Recently, I posted one of my absolute most favorite videos ever, so go check this Wreck This Journal body paint video out. I spent so much time on it, and I'm so proud of it, so I want as many of you to see it as possible. These are some of the other fun recent videos that I posted. I'll link all those in the description box below, so you can check them out after this video if anything looks interesting. I'm hoping to post at least a couple more fall and Halloween type videos if you guys want to see them, so let me know in the comment section below if you have any special requests. But now, without further ado, let's get on into the pumpkin decorating. According to my cat, the most important thing you have to do before decorating pumpkins is to inspect those pumpkins as carefully as possible, paying close attention to the stems. Leo's giving me the go-ahead. He says everything looks fine, so let's get into the first pumpkin design. For this one, I'm going to be using some colorful Sharpie markers, isopropyl alcohol, aka rubbing alcohol, and a little dropper. This design's probably going to look best on a white pumpkin, which is what I'm using here. I started off with a little squiggly scribble on here, and then another one around to kind of make it look like a starburst or a sunburst. Then I put a little bit of the rubbing alcohol into a dropper and dripped a few drops on just to have it run down and blend together. And if any of you are wondering, this will not work with water since Sharpies are permanent markers. They're not going to be affected by water. Maybe if you put them outside in the rain, they possibly could be affected over time. But if you don't have rubbing alcohol and you still want to do this, an alternative would be to use washable water-based markers such as Crayola Super Tips and see how that works. But keep in mind that it won't be permanent, and if you touch it, the marker will probably come off on your hands very, very easily. You can see that I'm repeating the same steps for each color that I'm putting on. Every time you color on the pumpkin, make sure that the area you are drawing on does not have any rubbing alcohol on it. You don't want it to be wet or you could ruin your marker. As you can see, placing colors one on top of another like I'm doing here, just maybe an inch or two apart, and then dripping at the highest point is going to make those colors run and blend together. So if you're only using a few different colors of markers like I am, you can blend them together to get even more colors. I know I first started out with that blobby starburst shape, but I actually like running the colors down from the top more and creating lines. I was just kind of experimenting because I only got 2 pumpkins. I didn't have anything to actually test this on pumpkin-wise. So I decided that I do like just kind of running the colors down. And it is easier if you do a bunch of color blobs all at once, but the only problem is when you let the marker sit too long on the pumpkin, the ink does dry, and then you can see, especially with the blue one, that the little squiggly lines kind of stay there, and it looks like there's like an eyebrow on your pumpkin even after you blend the alcohol into it a lot. So I found that just working with one color at a time and hurrying up to get that alcohol dropped on right away before the ink dries is the best way to make this look prettiest, in my opinion. And keep in mind, don't get those markers wet and draw on top of the alcohol. That's why you can see I'm moving from left to right with the colors and getting that to dry a little bit before I have the marker tip anywhere near that spot again. Now I've completed the base layer of drippy lines all around the pumpkin, and it's time to move on to layering that even more and adding more lines and building up the color. But first, what I'm doing is I'm just doing a little bit more experimenting, and I kind of wish that I didn't do this because, like I said, I like just the lines dripping down all the way around better than putting the little splotches on, but you can do that, as you can see. It just kind of looks messy in my opinion, but if you do it the right way, it will look like tie-dye, and that could be pretty cool. So here I am just making more lines with the marker ink and, of course, dripping the rubbing alcohol on each time. And once a color is completely dry and maybe it doesn't look bold and vivid enough for you, you can just put more ink on top and do a little bit more of the drips, and it'll become more bold and brighter. This is kind of like a crayon drip pumpkin, which I have done in the past. I have a lot of fun with Sharpie art in general though, and I'm surprised that I really haven't seen any of these alcohol drip pumpkins anywhere around. I'm sure there are some, but I'm not exactly sure how long this is going to last with putting the alcohol and permanent ink onto a pumpkin. It might make it rot quicker. I'm not quite sure. Maybe that's why people haven't done it. I don't know. Now let's switch things up and take things in a more creepy direction. For my second pumpkin, I drew the outline of the clown from It, Pennywise, and I'm going to just cut this sketch out and tape it onto the front on an area that's flat enough to draw on. I think it works best in this area with a little pumpkin indent in the very middle of my drawing. And then I'm just going to outline that with an ultra fine black Sharpie marker just to get the basics of this. You could definitely do it freehand without the stencil, but I feel more comfortable using it because it is very easy to mess up, and this is permanent ink, so it would be hard to get off. After I did the initial trace around, I also cut out just the hairline, which later on I realized I should have made the forehead a lot bigger, a lot longer. So keep that in mind if you're doing this exact character. I chose to do all the detailing and sketching in my living room while watching, I think I was watching American Horror Story Freak Show at the time. I really love the series. The first 3 seasons were amazing, and Freak Show is seeming to be pretty great as well. Anyway, it just wouldn't have been fun to watch me do this because it did take a while and my hand blocks the drawing a lot of times. When I do this, I move around my drawings so much, it's just hard to get a complete time lapse. I used the ultra fine Sharpie for his hair first, and then I moved in with a regular fine tip Sharpie to do a little bit darker of areas and shade that. Here's what it looks like after all the inking is complete, and now I'm going to go in with a brush tip Sharpie, and I find that this is easy for getting around the curves and grooves of the pumpkin. I'm doing a zigzaggy circle all the way around him. And after that is complete, I go in with a very tiny red Sharpie and I'm filling in the face paint or scars. I actually haven't seen the movie. I want to be fully open and honest and disclose that. It is at the absolute top of my movies that I want to see list, but I actually haven't seen it yet. I don't go to the theaters very often. I think in the past 5 years I've been to the movie theater, I don't know, maybe 6 times. I usually just wait for movies to be available to purchase at the store or to order from video on demand to rent. Anyway, yeah, so I colored in all the red, and now I'm taking some metallic red acrylic paint. You don't have to use metallic, but I think that I didn't have a regular red. I'm not sure. I guess I need to restock my painting supplies. But you can see I'm taking a sponge brush for the main bulk of the pumpkin. I'm also using a smaller brush to do the lines around the zigzags since that's a little bit more detailed. I painted as much as I could and let that dry completely. Then I flipped the pumpkin over and painted mostly all the way to the bottom except that middle part you can see. So now it's completely dry, and what I'm doing here is I'm taking some white acrylic paint and I'm going to paint the stem. Now if you guys haven't caught on to the symbolism for this, I painted the pumpkin completely red to resemble the red balloon in the movies, and the stem is white to kind of be like an upside down balloon, so it's representing a broken string. And of course the face on the front has a zigzag around it to look like the balloon is popping and revealing the clown. I also decided to paint his entire face white and do kind of yellowy teeth and the ambery, orangey, yellow, green eyes. I don't know what color exactly they are. It was hard to get a very clear photo on Google Images. I am so so excited for all the creepy movies this month. I've always loved horror and thriller movies so much. Poltergeist I remember watching when I was like 8 or even younger, and just ever since then, Unsolved Mysteries. I like all the weird stuff, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I'd rather watch Halloween movies all year round than Christmas movies. I don't know what that says about me as a person. So in the comment section below, let me know what your favorite scary or just even Halloween movie is in general, even if it's not scary. So let me know, and let me know which pumpkin you like better. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up to let me know. And also, if you want to watch something else from me, I'll link a couple right here and in the iCard over here. Remember to check back every Friday and Sunday for a brand new video. I will be posting a new Wreck This Journal next Sunday, so I hope to see you guys there, and have a great rest of the day. Bye!